Hello everyone and welcome to today's form building webinar. My name is Nick and I will be taking us through the builder today. More specifically, we'll be going through the documents section and how to build out a document template. If you have any questions as we go along, please hold on to those. I will be opening up that chat just a little bit later in the webinar and I'll be more than happy to answer any of those that might come through or go back over any information if necessary. But all right. We'll go ahead and go on down to our documents section. This is a fairly new feature with FormDr. Oh, page what doesn't want to load there. Fairly new feature with FormDr. This will allow you to upload a PDF document that you can add fillable fields to and send out to your patients to collect their signatures or other small bits of information, of course. And you'll have two options on this documents page. When you first come to it, you won't have a template set up. However, all accounts will have access now to at least one free reusable template that you can use. And you can also use the top section above to send out any forms on the fly as well. Just know that when you do send out through the top section, you will need to set your signers and put their names and email addresses in there. You will also need to set the fields for that document each time that you do it that way. But we can save a template down here that we can reuse over and over again. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll click the Add Template button and we'll upload our document. We'll just do a simple HIPAA consent here. You'll be able to upload as many PDFs into your document template as you like. If you are doing the on-the-fly style at the top of the documents page, you will only be able to upload one PDF at a time. Once we have our PDF uploaded, we can click Next, and this is going to take us to step 2, which will allow us to add the roles of our signers. We'll need to add at least one role, and keep in mind this is for a template, so this is something that we will be using over and over again, so we will just name this generally, and our first role will be patient. We'll save that. And we'll go ahead and add a second role just to show you how that's going to work as well. We'll make this one doctor, in case we need to collect that doctor's signature as well. We'll save this one also, and we'll click Next to take us to step 3. This is going to take us into the actual document where we can update this with the fillable fields. So we'll scroll down to our answer area, and this form does only ask for the patient name and signature. However, we'll pretend that we have some fields over here for the doctor as well, and we'll use some of those fields just to show you how that's going to look visually and how they will differ. You'll have all of your fillable fields on the left sidebar here, and we'll go through these individually as well. But first up, we have our signature field. If you need to add this to your form, all you'll need to do is click it and drag it to its position. You'll then be able to reposition it. If you need to resize it, you can use the bottom right corner. And if you would like to make that field required, you'll just need to click on it and use the right sidebar toggle. We have 3 autofill fields here as well, with the name, email, and date signed. The name and email will autofill based on the information that you put in when sending out the document. And of course, the date signed will update as soon as that form has been signed. We'll resize this one as well. Perfect. When it comes to the name, it will come out as one single field. And again, this will autofill. In this specific case, for the way that this form is set up, I might not use the autofill just because it's going to place probably that full name in the client first name field and leaving that last name field blank. So we'll go ahead and remove our name field. We'll click on it and we'll delete it. Instead, I'll just add 2 standard text boxes. Any of the standard fields will not autofill with any information. They will just make that area fillable. So we'll use our text box and resize that. And we'll go ahead and add another one. Since it's not autofilling, it might be smart to go ahead and make these fields required, just so that the patient doesn't skip over them. All right, so our patient's information is now set up. We have our text boxes for our first and last name and our signature field. If you need to collect any large amounts of information, you can use the large text field. And then, of course, we'll have the single checkbox and the drop-down widgets for you as well. The single checkbox will allow you to create an area that will be clickable for the patient. And of course, the drop-down will allow you to add multiple answer options for the patient to select. Let's go ahead and add our, quote, doctor's information over here on the right side where it is pretending to be. But if you need to add your second role or your second signer's information, you will need to add at least one field for each signer that's involved on the form. And it will be expected for them to complete that field prior to that submission completing. To switch between signers or roles, we'll just need to use the signers dropdown at the top left. We'll switch to the doctor, and that color will change. That color will also be changed on the form as well. So we can add our autofill name for this one. And our signature field. Maybe this is all the information that we need to collect from our doctor. And there we go. We'll resize that to be roughly the same. You can always just place that over the other one if you want it to be exact. All right, we'll add a date sign for our doctor as well. And we're good to go. All of our fields have been placed. This information will now be fillable for our patients. And since we have two signers set up, two roles, we will enter their information at the time of sending, and it will send to both parties at the same time. As soon as one has completed and submitted, it will update and let you know that that person has signed, still waiting on whoever has not signed and completed the form yet. As soon as both parties have completed, or all parties involved in the signers or roles have completed that document and submitted it, it will complete in your document submissions list. Once you have the form set up and it's all built out with all of your fillable fields, we'll click Next, which will take us to our review page. We'll get to check our roles, make sure that we have the right amount of roles or signers. If there are any members of your staff that need to receive this document but do not need to fill out any information, you can add them as recipients here. You'll also have an opportunity to add them whenever you're sending that out. We'll title our document template here. We'll just title this HIPAA form. And then, of course, you can add an optional message that will be sent out with that document template. Once you're ready, we'll click Save and Return to My Account. We'll now have our document template ready to be used. If you need to edit this for any reason, you'll just need to come to the Documents page, click the three dots, and click Edit. It will take you right into the document builder, and it will start you at step 1. If you don't need to change anything, you can just click through or go back to My Account. When it comes to sending this document, you can either do so from here, which will take you through the same system that would be done using the top area here. And just to show you, we'll upload our document. And we'll do this again here in just a moment. And then you'll need to enter your signer's name and email address before you're able to continue. You'll then move on to where you can add the fields, and then from there, moving on to the review page. So that will do the same. If you send from the documents page, it will take you to step 1 where we can add, or step 2, I should say, where you can add our signers information, and then moving on to update any fields. Alternatively, you can come up to the Send and Receive page and click on the Documents tab. This is going to be where all of your document submissions will be found. So just keep that in mind as well. If you are looking for them, that is where they will be. And just like the form submissions or the packet submissions, an incomplete submission will have that light gray background, and a completed submission will be dark blue. And it will tell us both parties have submitted. We can click on that to view it before downloading it, see our information looks good, and then we can download that PDF or delete it if needed. Just know that any document submissions that are deleted from this list will not be able to be recovered. When it comes to sending that document template, again, we'll come to Send and Receive. We'll go to that Documents tab, and we'll select the document template we want to send. We only have one in this account right now, so this will be the only one in our list, but we can select that, at which point we'll be able to enter our signer's information. And then our doctor's information. You will need to remember which signers are which. We had set up for that first one, signer 1 was our patient, and signer 2 was our doctor. We'll enter both of their names, both of their emails. We can add or update our optional message, and if anyone needs to be added on the fly as a recipient, you can do so here as well by entering their name and email. And if you need to make any updates to the document that might be different from what you're sending to someone else, you can always click that Modify Document button, which will take you into that document builder. Once you're ready, you can click that Send Document button. I didn't add anyone in there, so it's not going to actually send, but a new document submission will be populated on your received documents page, and you can click on that to see where that's at. This one has not had anyone sign. As soon as one party has signed, it will let you know Nick Test has signed, still waiting on one other person to complete. Once they have completed as well, that's when it will turn dark blue for you and you'll get your exporting options. All right. Now we do recommend using this document template for more of the simple forms or forms that you might want to specifically use that PDF formatting that you already have. Just know if you do, and you are able to use these for intake forms as well, if that's how you prefer to do it, just know that you will need to make all of those fields fillable. However, you can add those checkboxes in there. I would recommend if you do have yes or no questions on your forms. For instance, we can go to our new patient packet, and we'll get rid of a couple of these. We won't be able to use the upload cards page on that one. But what we can do is we can go next to build, and any of our yes or no questions here, maybe we turn them into a drop down. And to do that, since this is a single select option question, all we'll need to do is hover over that, click that orange pencil icon, and then the field type drop down here, just above the answer area, we can select drop down to change the styling of that widget. That way we can use our drop down functionality on the document, and we'll be able to use that single checkbox functionality here, our large text box here. Everything else is a single text box. And here we are as well. That date signed, maybe we remove that for this specific one, and we can place that here once it's been signed. Next to style, next to publish, and back to account. If you prefer to have that in a yes or no format or a single select option, whatever style you prefer, then I would recommend going and changing that back for that live version of the form. However, if you want to use it in that style for the document, I would recommend changing that to the drop-down, changing it to a single checkbox if needed, because you'll have the ability to utilize that in the document template. My internet's just having a day. All right. Chat is open also. I've just opened that, so if you do have any questions, please feel free to get those in. I'm more than happy to answer any of those. But again, if we need to adjust the packets for a document, if you want to use that as a document, which we can go ahead and set up the one that we have just fixed for the document style, our new patient intake. To do so, we're just going to make a PDF of that. So we'll use the settings of that packet. We'll create our PDF. There we go. And then we'll upload that to our documents. Give me just one moment. There we go. Go ahead and delete out our old template. So we only have room for one at the moment. We'll go ahead and add our new one. Do patient intake. We'll go to next. We'll just add one role in the interest of saving time. And from here, we can start adding our fields again. Since this patient name is one single field, I'll go ahead and use that autofill name. We can add text boxes for our address, email address, and cell phone. And you can make these as large as you like. Fill out that area or just give them a little bit of area. And then from here, we did change this to a dropdown. It will present itself in the single checkbox format. So we can just add our clickable checkboxes to that. And we will do the same to that section below. So this way we can turn that form that we are using as an online packet into a document if we need to. It will be more fields that you'll need to add, but it can be done. I would recommend saving this one as a template because you probably won't want to be going through and updating each one of these on the fly. Again, if we go back to our documents, if we have to do that from this area instead, then we'll only be able to add that one, and then we'll need to add our signers each time, add all of those fields each time, and so on and so forth. We'll need to review that, all of that information. So just keep that in mind as you're going through building those out. Oh. All right, it does look like we are running up on time. We don't have any questions today. So that will conclude our document presentation on building document templates, and just things to keep in mind as you're building those out. We do very much appreciate you joining us today. And if you have any coworkers or staff that would like to learn this information, or if it would benefit them, please feel free to send them our way, as these are all free. And we do encourage everyone to join us as often as they like. If you would like to keep up with our webinar schedule, you can do so by going to My Account, Support, and Search Guide. In the Product Updates section at the bottom right, we'll have our webinar schedules posted on the left side. That July schedule will be posted very soon. However, we have the videos that we've previously gone through in the month of June posted if you want to go back over any information in our form building schedule. All of our form building webinars will be hosted on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And all onboarding webinars will be held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Those will be at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. And in those webinars, we'll be going over general account use, updating users, sending forms, setting up integrations and things like that. So please feel free to join us for those as well. But thank you very much again. Hope you all have a great afternoon and hope to see you next time.